Hello everybody, today I'm going to be showing you how to make your very own custom mosaic tile pieces using polymer clay. Now you can use any color clay that you want. Today I'm actually going to be using some of the gray super sculpey firm clay that we featured in October's Smart Art Box. So if you still have some of that left, this would be a fantastic way to use it. So I'm going to be using that. I'm also going to be using some paint to paint over our tile pieces and a box cutter to make the shapes. Okay, let's get to work. Okay, I'm gonna start with my polymer clay. One thing that's hard about this particular material is that it does take a bit to soften, so I would recommend putting it maybe under a lamp for about 20 minutes. That'll really help get it a little bit more pliable and soft. So once you play with it, it's ready to roll, so I'm gonna start rolling it out. And really, I just wanna get it down to the thickness of the mosaic tiles that we're working with, because I'm going to use my custom tiles in combination with the tiles from this month's Smart Art Box. Alright, so I'm kind of getting close there, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little piece here and just kind of use that to guide, and it kind of looks like I'm right on it. So that's perfect. Okay. Very nice. Now I want to make really small pieces because I'm going to use it as a background. So I'm going to take my cutter and I'm gonna start with a thin, long strip of clay, just like that. And I'm just gonna cut different size shapes so I can do little triangles, which work really nicely because the pointed ends really help get in between each other. So smaller pieces, do some squares also, small squares. You can cut a longer piece and then cut it in half. You can create a skinny piece just like this. Well, it's really helpful that way. Gonna make little rectangles, a few more triangles. Just play around with the shapes. Okay, so you're gonna cut up all the clay, then you're gonna put it on a sheet tray. I covered this with aluminum foil and I have more pieces that I've been working on, so you're gonna just lie them flat on your sheet tray. And you're gonna bake it according to the manufacturer's guide. If you're working with the Sculpey firm like I am, you're gonna take about 15 minutes in an oven that's 275 degrees, and that should do it. Stick it in the oven, let it cool, and then we're get ready to work with it. All right, so these pieces over here are already been baked, and they're cooled and dry. Now they're kind of like plastic. So I'm gonna paint gold over them. I'm gonna use a little bit of paint. Use a small pointed brush. This is actually the box from last month's Venetian mask box. It's really great when you get to use your previous month's supplies and mix them together. So I'm gonna just slightly paint a coat of paint over it and set it aside to dry. And I do recommend that you, after you put the coat down, you let it dry and then apply another coat or two to that. Just because sometimes when you're doing the cleanup process and you're removing the smudges of the cement, you might lift off some of that paint. So if you have a few coats on here, that'll make it a lot easier for cleanup time. You can also just go back in and add more paint to the mosaic once it's dry, no big deal. Just take a fine point brush like this one, go back in and paint any areas that got peeled back. Alright, so once your tiles have been painted and dried, that's it. You are done with your custom. I have another one I'm working on here. This is another Egyptian mosaic design. This is a scarab beetle. And I started working with the large tiles and then started applying all the little ones. Make sure that you put these tiles paint face down. So you want to take the gold side and face it down. I'm going to use little tweezers to help me put them down. Again, you want to put them paint side down because that's the side that's going to be revealed at the end. So we'll just have fun putting all the pieces in. This is why I like the triangles. They can really fit into the little corners. A little hard to get them on there. And I did this just like with our other mosaic coaster project. I greased down my mold, I used the contact paper, and that's what's keeping my mosaic tiles in place right now. Maybe one more little piece. Okay, that looks good. And you'll notice they're pretty close together. This gives it a really cool effect. You don't want to have gaps that are too large, otherwise the cement will kind of create a mosaic piece of its own and it doesn't look the same. So I like to keep mine really close together. I'm going to show you another technique to use with the cement instead of pouring it just directly over into the mold. Because we are working with very small gaps, what I like to do is kind of create a piping bag out of it. So I'm going to mix my cement really quick. I have my 9 tablespoons of cement and 3 tablespoons of water. I'm gonna mix that up. And again, we did this with our first mosaic coaster, which was our Eye of Horus, which is a very popular Egyptian symbol also. So we're gonna mix that really well. Now I'm gonna use just a little baggie I have at home. Little practical things to use. That's gonna be my little piping bag. Just wanna mix this really thoroughly. Okay. Kind of feel the bottom. And again, you want this to be a little bit liquidy. This seems a little bit stiff, so I think I'm gonna add a little bit more water. Just a tiny little bit. Okay, mix that in. Looks a little better. And if you end up making it too watery, you can just add more cement. Just try not to do that too many times, because the cement does cure as soon as it's getting mixed. In fact, this seems a little bit watery, so I'm gonna add just a little bit more powder. It's too liquidy. But you have 2 pounds of cement in this month's box, so you have plenty of cement to work with. I use my tablespoon measure, just a little bit at a time. A little bit goes a long way, but you don't want to overdo it, so just do it little by little. A little bit more. Okay, that looks better. You want this to be a little bit thinner than when you just pour it over, so that you can really pipe it into those little crevices. I'm just gonna take a plastic baggie, open it up, pour in some of my cement. I'm gonna leave some of it on my cup, and I'll just pour that in over afterwards. Okay, I'm gonna use this corner, and I made a quick cut. Very tiny. Get the air out. Squeeze it down. Okay, it's gonna start spilling, so we want to just start at a little corner. And there it goes. So this is a good technique to use, just so that you make sure that you're really covering all the little grooves in between. A little less messy. Just takes a little bit more time than pouring the cement simply over it. But you get a better effect this way. So I'm going to go through and pipe all the cement in between the little cracks. Okay, that looks good. And the last little bits of it out. Okay, I'm gonna set this down and take the rest of this cement and just pour it over. So now we have that first layer of cement that went in, and this will be right over it. Okay. Very nice. And we'll spread it. And again, you want to let this dry for about an hour. You'll notice that the cement will heat up as it's drying, but once it's fully cured and cooled down, it is ready to go, and you can just pop it right off. Again, you want to shake it very gently. Just try to get some of those air bubbles out, come up to the surface. And now we can let it dry. This is our finished coaster mosaic project. Hope you guys enjoyed this tip. All you have to do now is clean up any smudges and add a coat of the protective tile and cement sealer, which is also included in this month's box. Thank you for watching, guys. Look out for more videos coming out every week. Don't forget to hit the like button, share and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.